Radiant team
Jay,
back.
can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Alright, here we are. I had some problems with audio, with caster volume last game. Hopefully it'll be okay this time. We are here, game 2, City University
10 seconds
versus
remaining.
Queen Mary's. Game 1, I don't know if you saw that, but it was
5
a
seconds
convincing City win, pretty much from the get-go.
Reserve time.
This is the kind of patch where a particular kind of draft means that one team does have the potential to walk over another team, even if they are fairly equal in terms of mechanical skills. So hopefully ex-specialists can come back this game and really give City Uni a good run for their money, maybe even take this to a BO3.
Yep, so Queen Mary's got wrecked by Alina last game, and they're just going to ban it first phase this game. I think last game they banned a Sven in the first phase. What do you think about this stuff?
I'm surprised to see Alina or a Sven ban in the first phase, really. Both do have their answers, and I don't personally think that they're first ban material.
5 seconds
But of course, if there's something that you think that another player on their team plays particularly well and can't come up with the answers to in short order, in this sort of situation, it can always be defensible to make a ban like that, as long as they have a strategy in place.
What is the answer to a Sven? Because we've been seeing a lot of Sven and a lot of success with Sven in the major so far.
Sven's just one of those weird heroes, you know. Like he's strong, very strong in his situation, but there are a lot of ways to counter him. I think what most of the teams in the major are picking him for more than anything else, it's so much his burst damage, it's his war cry, which gives allied creeps up to 12 bonus armor. So strong in these push heavy lineups that we've been seeing at the Shanghai Major. For example, comboing with the Chen or an Enchantress, giving those Chen creeps plus 12 armor just makes your push almost unstoppable. Does it give a different amount of armor to creeps than it does to heroes? No, as far as I know, it doesn't.
It's 20 then, isn't it? Warcry.
Almost certainly, it's a flat 20. So very, very strong indeed. Really augments your push. It's like an Aquila on steroids, basically. Really makes it very difficult if the enemy team doesn't have any long-range wave clear. For example, something like a Windrunner with the long-range power shot. It's very difficult to actually remove those creeps. So that's the main reason Sven is so popular right now. Just because what he brings to a pushing team. And speaking of heroes that bring things to pushing teams, we're seeing a Vengeful Spirit right now. What do you think about
that? I mean, we see it almost every single game. We don't usually see it banned. We just see it picked almost without fail in the first phase. Not the Dazzle so much, but the Venge. It's a support where you really can't go wrong. You've got extra push power and damage for your team with the Aura. You've got better Roshan potential with a W. You've got stun. You've got repositioning. Basically nothing bad to say about Vengeful Spirit now. Thanks to the
definitely a jack of all trades.
Buffs to the Aghanim Scepter as well can go into the late game and still be very, very strong.
Interesting. What do you think about ex-specialist seemingly doubling down on their supports in the first phase of picking? And similarly, City Uni looked like this is 2 supports on their side as well.
We saw it last game as well, actually. Both teams seeming to pick up their supports initially. It ended up just being 3 out of 4 of them being supports, and the Earth Spirit that was picked up in the last game ended up being a core, but maybe that'll be the same this game. Maybe this is 3 supports and an Ogre Magi off lane? I don't know. That's what it ended up being.
Very possible. Ogre Magi doesn't excel in the offlane just because he wins most 1v1 trades because of the power of Ignite and obviously his very high base armor and HP regen. But if you get a focused support pairing, if he's in a solo offlane, he could be quite easily zoned. His range is pretty bad. His move speed, as far as I know, is not brilliant. So it's really his tankiness that really makes him a viable offlaner. But in this case, often I would caution against picking both your supports in the first phase, because supports can actually reveal a surprising amount about your drafting strategy, sometimes even more than certain core picks do. But here it looks like Line was picked first, and then X-Specialists have doubled down on the defensive supports because they're worried about the ganking power of that Lion, the pick-off potential. And then City Uni have replied with Ogre Magi, which is a hero that is exceptionally strong at just sustaining in a team fight and just gradually running down a hero. So very good against the Shallow Grave, obviously with TP cancel as well with their stuns. 3 stuns so far on the side of City Uni. It's certainly an interesting draft so far. Fans.
Yep. So, what you were saying before about picking up the double support in the first phase, it just usually the mid lane, it hasn't actually affected the mid lane at all this game, but usually it leaves you in kind of a difficult position when you're picking something to go mid. In general, you wouldn't see the four melee carry bans like you have this time. Usually, you know, maybe see, I don't know, like whoever's left out of the Death Prophet, the Invoker, the Lina, OD, the Queen of Pain, maybe the Puck banned at this phase, but most of those heroes banned already, and neither of these teams really care about any of the other mids. It seems they're all, both teams, banning out the potential hard carries. CK was in the last game on the side of City, so I guess that's why the ban came out this time. CK, I think, went unkilled in the whole game, 12-0 and something.
Yeah, in the right situation, Chaos Knight is exceptionally scary. When he's got his ultimate up, he can pull any unwary support and almost one-shot them. I'm actually surprised here that X-Specialists have banned out the Sven themselves. I think perhaps they forgot that they had first pick this next picking phase, because with the Vengeful Spirit and the Dazzle, Sven is a hero that I think could have absolutely excelled in this lineup, with very strong armor and plus armor and minus armor. Yeah. Good roach potential. I think it could have done wonders for X-Specialists, but they decided to ban it out instead. Got the Gyrocopter.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah. Wraith King. And the answer is the Wraith King.
Radiant team pick.
Do you think that this is going to be a... Do you think this is just going to be a clown draft deliberately by City and maybe just pick whatever they want because the first game went so kind of imbalanced towards their favour? Like, do you think maybe they feel like they can pick up anything and win here, or do you think the Wraith King is totally reasonable right now and it can't, you know, there's not really any way that can be abused by Queen Mary?
I think the Wraith King is genuinely quite a strong pick here. I mean, with the Gyrocopter, Gyrocopter is one of those heroes that really hates Wraith King. It's actually a much more imbalanced matchup than you might think, because of the way that Gyrocopter works. He's very front heavy with his damage in a team fight. He goes in, he pops cooldown, he uses his flat cannon, and then he really just only has his rocket barrage and his right clicks to take anyone else down. And if you've got Wraith King and Gyrocopter on equal farm, if Gyrocopter doesn't kill Wraith King in the initial burst, he can actually be exceptionally difficult to take down in the first life, let alone the second. So I think Wraith King is a strong pick against Gyrocopter, and with the Invoker already banned, and obviously no anti-mage available for X-Specialist unless they decide to do something crazy with this Gyrocopter and put it mid, for example, I think they'll have issues containing this Wraith King if he gets all the farm he wants.
Yeah, pretty much. Like you were saying now, all the counters to Wraith King out of the pool, the Lion, the PL if he gets a Diffusal, the Invoker, the OD even, and Anti-Mage can't really be picked up in the Queen Mary's draft ad. What else is there? You know,
I mean, there's this, this is going to sound strange, there's always a Nyx Assassin potentially, Naga Siren, obviously the Lion has gone to the side of City Uni, but there are still solutions, although none of them are particularly elegant, unfortunately. X-Specialists have rather drafted themselves into a corner in terms of countering the Wraith King head on, so they're going to need to look to counter him in terms of macro play instead of picks, play around that Reincarnate, push down early and just make sure he can't get the farm he needs. Wraith King isn't a particularly strong flash farmer. He's got sustain in a jungle situation when he's just walking around the camps with his lifesteal aura and his crit.
He does need to find quite a lot of time to just...
But yeah, exactly, he needs time. He doesn't naturally build any flash farming items, for example. Mjolnir or Battle Fury, he can go Radiance, but it's not quite as effective in terms of farming as for example a Spectre Radiance, or definitely not a Naga Radiance.
Yeah.
So
what do you think overall of the Radiance Wraith King?
Well, you know I like it. You saw me play it, but personally, I think it's after the
Radiant
change to the mischance, the addition of a mischance on the Radiance Aura. I think it's a fantastic pickup on many carries, particularly Wraith King. He's very borrowing Hearthstone speak for a second. He's very sticky, meaning it's difficult to remove him.
10 seconds remaining.
He's got decent move speed. I wouldn't say exceptional, but he can naturally build an S&Y. Even early Boots of Travel aren't so bad on him because of the way his ultimate works.
Yeah, and also picking up the blink in almost every game that I see the Wraith King at the moment.
I think Radiance just allows him to be just more of what Wraith King likes being, just in the middle of a fight, being a nuisance. Absolutely. And apparently what a Radiance Wraith King wants to be is flaming. Flaming hot. But just in the middle of the fight, causing chaos, giving mischance to every single one of the ex-specialist heroes. I think that is definitely something that could happen. And Bristleback and Tidehunter. I like the Bristleback for ex-specialist, just because it has good synergy with their minus armor supports. The only concern I have is that Bristleback, in terms of an offlaner, has slightly faded out of fashion. It's a bit greedy. It doesn't naturally work so well with the new camps either. Obviously, you can kill stacks with quills, but that means you have to sacrifice presence on the lane. And
do you think
Bristleback is generally a hero that likes being in lane.
Do you think rather than that they could run a Bristleback safe against the Tidehunter, an aggressive try with a Dazzle Venge Gyro?
That's certainly something they could do. I mean,
oh,
wow,
there we go.
Hello.
There's the BM pick.
Oh, I don't know. I like this pick. I mean, it's obviously ballsy. But I think this could actually work out exceptionally well for City Uni. And I'm not exactly certain that this is BM, because if I told you your 5th picking sniper, pick 4 heroes, any of the 4 heroes that you could possibly want to be on your team with a sniper 5th pick, I think you would have some combination of Tidehunter and Wraith King and Ogre Magi at least, just those beefy heroes that you can stick up in the middle of a team fight, while Sniper sits in the trees grinning like the little annoying dwarf he is and popping little shots at everyone. I think this could be an inspired pick from City.
I don't think Razor can really do anything about the Sniper there either. Once he gets a couple of points in, is it take aim? Yeah, the Razor, he's never even going to be able to get in range for a static link, and that's what, you know, gives him most of his strength. You know, 1v1 matchup, I'd say.
I mean, unfortunately, this Razor hasn't gone for boots, because if he had boots, he would have a significant move speed advantage over the Sniper and perhaps be able to run him down with static link and zone him early, possibly get an early CS advantage and snowball out of that. But he should be able to outlast hit this Sniper early on in lane. Sniper's base damage is actually notoriously poor. Even with the Wraith Band, you can see he's not even got 50 base damage. So Jeff, my name is Jeff, is going to have to work really hard in this game to keep level with that Razor till he gets to about level 4.
Gold is a great conductor.
Yep, so Sniper and the Razor both going to get their respective bounty runes uncontested. So this is an interesting ward from both teams here, deciding to go for the Radiant top tier 1 cliff ward, which
that's absolutely a statement of intent from City Uni. They want to see where this Bristleback is hiding. They are obviously intending to zone him very, very hard, not give him any room on the lane, and even try and perhaps wrap round behind his tower here, gank him if they force him back enough.
Yep. Unfortunately, the Ogre Magi, for whatever reason, took Fire Blast first. Maybe that was a misclick, and this is why he's trying to pull out straight away and get a little bit more XP. I expect to see the Bristleback, though, going down in the next couple of minutes. If he stays forward in this lane, I don't think there's a great deal that he can do to stop himself from being killed. He does have the Stout Shield and quite a bit of regen, including the Fairy Fire, so that might save him for a moment. in the long term, it's going to be hard for him.
Well, he's found his level 2 for now, so that is perhaps better than he could have been expecting had Ogre Magi leveled his Ignite first instead.
Yep.
But in the meantime, do you want to belatedly introduce the teams before they spring a first blood on us?
Yep, sure. We have not gay, but a dollar's a dollar on Gyrocopter. Scrub on the Vengeful Spirit. Always Want to Cry on Razor. Adri on the Bristleback, and who did I miss there? Open Shadows on the Dazzle. This is the Queen Mary's side.
And on the side of Specialist, sorry, on the side of City, my bad, we have My Name is Jeff on the Sniper, War Metallic on that Carry Wraith King, the Summoner on the Support Lion, Bin Bin on the second support Ogre Magi, and Sahurazin on the Tide Hunter.
Yep, Wraith King farming pretty smoothly right now. Somehow Gyro has managed to miss quite a lot of CS, but I don't know if an early pull maybe pulled the creeps under his tower and he didn't have enough damage to CS under there. I don't really know, but Gyro have fallen a long way behind Wraith King already.
Yeah, this
just
is
in the first couple of waves.
Is unfortunate for the Gyrocopter. I mean, his base damage is fairly low, and he can't, of course. Meanwhile, top lane.
Now, yep, top lane. The first stun goes out onto the Bristleback. They're gonna stack up pretty nicely here. Unfortunately, oh, the Ignite comes out just at the end. I don't know if he had the mana for that all along. They're trying to chase down. The Ignite isn't quite going to be enough damage. He pops the Fairy Fire just in case, although he didn't quite need it. That Ignite a little bit earlier, I think, probably would have secured that kill because he would have let the Wraith King get another couple of attacks in. So maybe a little bit of a clumsy play from the Ogre there, but they do force him to use a lot of regen.
Yeah, I'm actually looking more at this Wraith King for that, because you could see I had the camera on him as they were chasing the Bristleback under his own tower, and his stun was just coming off cooldown. He could have literally just thrown that out and walked away and got that first blood, but he decided to walk away a bit too early. And I think there may be perhaps some terse words said in TeamSpeak after that misplay, but I think it'll still be encouraging for City. They know that they've got the measure of this Bristleback. That one may have got away, but he can't get lucky forever.
Yeah, Fine's level 4, so thanks to surviving that gank, he gets a nice big creep wave underneath the tower. Manages to find level 2 in Bristleback, and as he's actually put a point into stats. Why would you do that?
I think just potentially to tank up in the early game. It doesn't look like he's going to be going aggressive. I don't think he's really going to have any chance, so perhaps feels that the extra point in Quill Spray is unnecessary, and what he really needs in order to survive these early kill attempts is just that extra little bit of HP. Of course, this does signal intention to stick to the lane. He's not going to back off and farm those camps because he's missed out the second point in Quill Spray. He wants to stick in this lane, really contest the Wraith King and try and get as much as he can out of it, but it's a bold move. Max could backfire on him.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it just doesn't leave him being useless for a really long time in this game, right? That's what they've got to hope. And now he's walking quite a long way forwards. The Ogre, though, quite a long way away. Can't do anything about it just yet. And now they're rotating the Dazzle up here to try and help out. They feel like they can't make enough space. They can't push the Tidehunter out effectively enough, seeing as he's already found level 4. So they're just going to give up on that. Let the Tidehunter now pretty much probably farm as much as he wants in this lane, at least for a little while.
I was going to say that that tri-lane bottom was not the greatest tri-lane at killing the Tidehunter, but with Poison Touch on the Dazzle and the stun from the Venge, they could possibly have the potential. Rocket Barrage is one of the best ways of killing a Tidehunter in the early game because his Kraken Shell only blocks right clicks. It's a lot of magic damage. But I think on the whole this is the right decision. Ex-Specialists do need their Bristleback to be farmed, but as I say that, Dazzle just walks straight back to bot lane.
Well, yep, so efficient rotation there, works out well. And now wrapping around onto the Tide. They do want to try and take him up before he hits level 6, but look at how much no damage he takes with the three points in Kraken Shield, the Ring of Protection, and the not value Stout Shield. He's not really taking any damage at all. Takes only 200 there from quite a while of the supports trying to smack on him.
Yeah, that really is a lot of no damage. I'm very surprised by this Stout Shield, actually. I mean, again, it's a statement of intent to stick in the lane, because the only thing you would ever do that for is...
Razor has a DD right now,
chance.
but walks right past the courier. He pops the DD at the end, but he's just going to get stunned, so... Yeah, that's that. He actually can't do anything. That gang didn't work out properly at all. He missed the chance to get the courier because he was kind of tunnel vision in one of the supports there, but just gets stunned anyway. I'm not making up right that the Stout Shield and the Kraken Shell don't work together. It says does not stack with items that provide damage block.
No, I was trying to be kind, but I think you're absolutely right. Yeah, it doesn't give anything. If something's blocked by Kraken Shell, it's not blocked again by the shield. So yeah, maybe slightly misitemizing on the side of City, but he doesn't seem to be suffering for it. He seems to be doing absolutely fine.
Yeah, he's very close to level 6 now, although he hasn't found a great deal of CS. That's pretty understandable against this tri lane, and he'll actually be able to find a little bit under his tower now. Now top lane, look at all these creeps. What fun. Bristleback will be able to find some of that from bot lane. He's put the 3rd level into the Bristleback, so not doing very much damage with those quills, even with the stacks. Not gonna have a particularly easy time any of the last hits.
His job description in this lane at this point is just to survive.
Yeah.
But I can tell you right now, as someone who infrequently plays off lane, having that camp pulled into the enemy creep wave is one of the most frustrating feelings in the world as an offlaner. It feels so unjust. It's so close to your tower, and yet if you go for it, any of it at all, you will suffer harsh penalties.
So we haven't even oh god, camera control please. We haven't even spoken about the mid lane. My name is Jeff, I'm the sniper, and it was even with the Razor for a long time, and now it actually looks like the Razor's going to be going down. Is this going to be the first blood, the sniper? Use your ult, buddy. Yes, it is. It's almost going to be there, and never mind. Wraith King gets on top instead. Distracted by the mid lane fight. Bristleback, I think, tried to move up to, like you said, collect some creeps and got penalised.
It's just the most tantalising thing in the world. You can see all that farm right in front of you, and many an offlaner has been baited out by that camp pull before, so understandable for Bristleback, but he still goes down.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Now, wow, aggressive TP here from Razor. He wants blood.
Does loads of damage to the Lion with a max level plasma field at really high range as well, but there's just no one else there to do anything. The problem with the offlane Bristleback, and quite a big problem with the Queen Mary's draft in general right now, is that they're very, very low in control. Realistically, all they've got is the 2 spells from the Venge, and they've got a level 1 poison. They don't even have any poison touch at all, and no homing missile, not even a cooldown yet. So they've got very, very little going for him in terms of control. And Bristleback, not an offlaner like Centaur, Slardar, Clockwork, or even Phoenix, someone that can turn up elsewhere and have a big impact to, apply some control, which is probably the more traditional role of the offlaner, right? A hero that can get some levels and then have some impact somewhere else by controlling the enemy heroes.
Yeah, the tempo offlane is very popular right now. Just and even though Clockwork is very unpopular right now, he's probably one of the best examples of it. It's guys, I got my level 6. Guys, I got my blink dagger. Guys, I got my item, my spell. It's time to make something happen. But Bristleback is just one of those heroes who never really has that. He doesn't sort of say, guys, I got my solar crest. It's not one of those items that's going to revolutionize what he does in the game. But he's a very stable pick if he can farm consistently.
Peeking into the middle of everyone top, Wraith King will stack the stun onto the Venge. The Venge dies too fast to get any spells off anyway. Razor trying to steal some damage from the Tidehunter, but the link gets broken, and now the Bristleback trying to do something, but Wraith King has level 6 here. Even if he ends up going down once, he's going to come back up again, and Razor goes down. Bristleback, those level 1 quills aren't going to do very much to help in this fight, and Dazzle even here is going to get taken down by the Lion Finger, not even going to get chance to grave. Surprise! Finger in from behind, takes out the Dazzle, and it means I think a 3-0 for City in the top lane.
This is turning into a bit of a nightmare early game for X Special. As you mentioned before, their lineup is very low on control compared to City, who have loads of stuns on their side, and a lineup low in control generally speaking, is a lineup that always wants to be playing from ahead. Because stuns are one of your best ways at dealing with heroes that are in some way stronger than what your team can handle with otherwise. For example, you know, something like if OD's level 11 and all your heroes are level 8, and he's got something like a Rod of Atos, what's the best way of dealing with him? You stun him. If you don't have any stuns, then you definitely have a problem.
Yep. Razor does manage to get the deny from right under the sniper's nose there, but Sniper has gone for the YOLO Phase Boost Mask of Madness build. He's got a double damage now, so I want to see the Sniper ganks. He's going to stack the Ancients. I want to see him pick up maybe a haste rune from the river now. Go on, spawn right there. Unfortunately not. Sniper is going to be doing a lot of damage. He's maxed out the take aim, maxed out the headshot. About to hit level 10 as well, so see if he bothers with the shrapnel. I imagine he will. He does take that, but he's going to be a right-clicking machine on the Sniper.
I think this is very well judged from Jeff here. He knows that his team is doing enough in the fights that he realistically shouldn't expect too much focus coming his way.
Yeah.
And so he knows that he can really abuse that with the Phase Boots and Mask of Madness build.
Yeah, and we've said it already, there's almost no control. The only threat to the Sniper is the swap, and his range is going to be longer than, I think, until there's a level 2 swap ready. So it's going to be an extremely hard time for anyone trying to deal with a Sniper. He'll just be able to kite people around, do loads of damage from miles away in the fights. There is the 1 point in the homing missile up on the gyrocopter now, but not going to do a great deal. They're trying to do some damage to the tier 1
Dire's
bot.
middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, I don't quite agree with how the gyrocopter is using that missile right now. He just sort of threw it out on the Tidehunter for no reason. It's very costly actually. I mean, look at this. It's not really doing any damage, and it's a ton of mana that he uses up by spamming it out like this.
Yeah.
I think,
with no wand as well. If someone comes in to try and gank him now, he won't even have his Q and his ult, and Lion doesn't even need to use the finger for that. Oh, it was the Venge that went down. I thought it was the Bristleback Venge trying to sap some XP. Doesn't really feel like Venge needs to be doing that so desperately, seeing as she's already hit level 6, but wasn't expecting the damage of the I assume the crit from the Wraith King there with the Blink Dagger, so managing to just get straight on top of people. Bot lane, the Tidehunter very, very close to going down here, but I think the Kraken Shell keeping him alive, and now Dazzle Grave already used. He's going to be going down as well, and here we go, double kill for the Sniper. Here we go, boys!
You know what would have killed the Tidehunter there?
What is it?
Rocket Barrage. If only Gyrocopter hadn't used 240 mana with missiles.
Yep. Just as the top fight, as the top gank came out, I was saying he won't have mana for both his spells, and what do you know, he didn't have mana for both his spells, and
it's interesting. It's you know, it's the game of Dota, because you will be playing that lane and you think, oh, what does it really matter? I'll throw out that homing missile. It's a nice bit of harass. It frees up the lane. It buys myself a bit of space, but in the end, it really does make a massive difference. It's these fine margins that really define the game.
Yep. Gyrocopter somehow found his way all the way to the top of the CS chart, but net worth not quite looking as hot as the Wraith King, although he's doing better. The safe lane of Queen Mary is doing better than he did last game. At this point, we were seeing he's a Morphling on the Dire side, I think, and was falling quite a long way behind. Hopefully, we've gotten a killer now, which should be turned on right now, but isn't. We do manage to take out the tower, so that's 2 tier 1s taken in quick succession. A nice cooldown will come out. The swap onto the Razor to try and get him away, as well as the Grave. He's trying to do a little bit of damage in the meantime. He turns his ult on right at the end, but he's going to get taken down by the Sniper. Lion is very, very low, but there's no one here to clean him up. Bristleback with his 3 points in Bristleback isn't even going into the middle of that fight, and now he's getting pinged up by the Gyrocopter. You noob! Why are you on my team?
Team?
Yeah.
Baby Rage.
Baby Rage on the Bristleback there.
Where was Team? It's so sad. I mean, you can completely understand why he got those points in Bristleback, but it completely skewers his potential to go aggressive in these early team fights now. He just can't get the damage. All he's good at is surviving in lane. You know, he got the stats, he got the bristleback, but now what does he really have?
I mean, we say it was going to make him survive in lane. He's 0-1-0, so he did die once, and his net worth currently lower than that of the Ogre Magi. So not done him much good.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I mean, you can see the intention though, and I think the intention was there. But 11-0 to City, looking grim for X Special right now, but stranger things have happened.
TP mid has a Ravage. We're going to see a repeat of the fight in the top lane. Dazzle going to be going down very, very quickly. Won't even have chance to cast the Grave, and it's just 2 kills in no time at all. Sniper. Oh ho, haha.
You can tell that X Special are quite tilted right now. The Tide Hunter just TP'd out right in front of them, and they just kept hitting the tower.
Yeah.
Barely reacting at all. He gets a very easy 3-man Ravage off, and then of course his team coming around from the side just clean up. X Special, I mean, you know, they've shown life in this series, but it doesn't seem like their heads are in it right now. They've just made a couple of fundamental errors, and City not playing exceptionally, but you know, just doing the basics well enough to just get the kills where they need to and just roll over X Special right now.
Yeah.
But you never know. Mistakes happen.
Ro16 as well. Would be a nice little set of experience for the sports and to the Wraith King. He's only level 9 as well. Wraith King will be picking that up. He won't have the reincarnation for the next couple of minutes, so it'll be nice for him to have the extra life. And in the meantime, the Radiant were trying to push mid and didn't even take down tier 1.
That's something I always like to see, by the way, the supports leaving the pit just before Ro16 falls. Although not necessarily it has to be the supports leaving the pit, just letting whoever needs that XP the most get the biggest benefit out of that huge spike of XP that Ro16 gives when he dies.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
So Wraith King now almost at level 11. His next death not going to be costly at all thanks to the Aegis, but getting that reincarnation up to level 2 just lets the style of Wraith King really kind of come out. I think doesn't need to hide away and guard his 5-minute cooldown reincarnation. Should be able to go out and do some work. Bristleback going for the full hybrid, now has a level in Viscous Nasal Goo and the Medallion. So maybe they were thinking about doing a Roshan for themselves at some point, maybe waiting for Dire to push top lane and then take Rosh themselves, but fat chance of them doing that in the next 10 minutes or so, now that he's already taken down.
It's a nice idea, but they've already given up too much ground. It's a real shame.
Dazzle now taking huge damage from the Wraith King. Razor comes in from the side but gets double stunned immediately. A nice cooldown, will hit onto 3, will take out the Lion and actually gets another kill onto the Tide Hunter as well. And they'll be able to clean up the Ogre at the end. Sniper is here on the side but being almost completely ignored. The swap back into the middle of the Bristleback. Wraith King will be respawning. He's got the armor active and now Venge and Bristleback in a very, very bad place here. Wraith King taking an awful lot of damage. He needs to be careful if he wants to toggle the armlet, but oh no, Bristleback just turns into a crit from the Wraith King and it's a triple kill for the Sniper as well.
I mean, you can see why he turned around there, hoping just to catch the Wraith King in between armlet toggles, but unfortunately it wasn't to be. That was a gigantic Gyrocopter ultimate, hit down onto 4 I think, and managed to instantly wipe out the Lion and take out the Tide Hunter as well in very short order. I don't think Tide Hunter actually managed to get off his Ravage in that fight, but you can see though that City are just so far ahead that it doesn't matter. They dust themselves off. Wraith King and Sniper still alive, and they were proved to be more than a match for the 3 of Gyrocopter, Bristleback and Vengeful Spirit, unfortunately.
Now, so we've mentioned already a bunch of times the low control lineup of the Radiant. What can they do? Is there any way they can itemize to turn this around? Razor being gone on mid lane now, and look at the damage of the Sniper with the DD, the attack speed from the Yasha, the Mask, the Maelstrom. Boy oh boy, godlike. Sniper 9, 0 and 3.
Godlike is the word. I can't think of many other ways to describe it at this point. This is a dominant Sniper performance now. I can really think of very few things that can stop the Sniper, unfortunately, at this point. in terms of what Xpecial can do, I think I was going to mention this earlier, but what I think they always needed to do with this lineup was stack heavily for the Gyrocopter and just rely on Gyrocopter getting huge. I think a big Gyrocopter was more or less the only potential wind condition that was really realistic for Xpecial in this game, but it hasn't worked out for them. Gyrocopter, I mean, there's one ancient stack now, but there, as far as I can see, were no jungle stacks, and he's unfortunately fallen quite a heavy way behind. He managed to contribute quite well in these early fights as well. He got lots of very impactful cooldowns, but there's just not enough spread damage on this Xpecial team. Even with the Razor Plasma Field, even with the Bristleback Quill Spray, it just doesn't seem to be quite enough to deal with City in any of these early engagements. In fact, Wraith King even trying to steal the stacks.
Coming out onto basically nothing there, Wraith King just blinks out of the way. Pretty
That's a rage cooldown, really.
The fight is going to be very, very difficult for Radiant without that cooldown. And now, the Ravage from the Tidehunter blinks in pretty much instantly, takes out 2, and Sniper now going to wipe out everyone else. Only the Venge left, now being chased down by the Tide, gets a stun onto the Tidehunter.
Surprised they called GG at this point, to be honest. I think Xpecial, they're playing like a team that's had enough, and I think might see GG in short order.
Feeling a little bit sorry for the Venge there. The Ogre, before that fight broke out, got the super long range Ether Lens Fire Blast out onto the Gyrocopter. Venge saved him in super quick, swapping him up to the high ground, but then Gyro goes and uses his being alive to go and waste the cooldown on some Ancients, and then the fight, you know, City knew that once that was down, there was just nothing at all that could threaten them. Being so low level, they're all back up again, so they can go for another to try and defend the racks, but City not going to push their advantage too hard. They're just going to get out of there. Desolator is up on the Wraith King. I don't know if that was up in the last fight or not, but that's going to be a pretty serious amount of damage and push potential there.
Yeah, you know, Cambridge would have pushed there.
Yeah, true say.
Absolutely. But speaking seriously for a second, I mean, you have to feel for Xpecial a tiny bit. I mean, it's not necessarily that any individual player has really not shown up. They've all individually played fairly well. I think the supports have actually done a fairly good job. The Vengeful Spirit and the Dazzle, they've saved their cause to the best of their abilities. They tried to zone the Tidehunter early. They gave appropriate support, but it doesn't feel like these core picks of the Gyrocopter, Bristleback, and Razor together are just impactful enough. They haven't got what they need to become a force in this game. And with the way that the timing windows work on these heroes, it's starting to look increasingly unlikely that they ever will.
Here's a question.
That's a big problem.
If you could change just one hero in the Queen Mary's draft, what would you change, and what would you change it to? What do you think could maybe, if they had a certain hero like now or 5 minutes ago with the same levels and net worth as the Bristleback, is there a hero that you think maybe could have turned this around that would have been a better pick for them?
Well, I know which hero you think, because you mentioned the Bristleback by name, and I do have to agree with you actually. I think the Bristleback pick has done the least out of any of the Queen Mary's heroes, although that is, I would say, perhaps not necessarily Andrew's fault. He could have, of course, he could have, of course, maxed Quill Spray first and maybe gone for a more aggressive build with more points in Goo, fewer points in Bristleback, maybe even only one, and really tried to contribute as much damage as possible in the early fights that were taken. But I just feel it's so much easier to play with a different hero. Like, you have to really play very well.
Razor getting taken down pretty fast by the snipers, trying to get some shots to kill, but the Ravage is going to come out at the end. A ding 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 comes out from the Ogre Magi, gets a triple, and Gyrocopter wasn't even there for that, trying to farm away from top lane. When a fight's going that badly, throwing any more heroes at it isn't going to help anyway, so... Now, the Dire get pushed down mid again.
I mean... It's actually, you know, it's not bad farm on the Gyro at this point, really, but it's nowhere near enough, and he's just...
Oh, where you going, buddy?
Oh.
He dies fast. 2 buybacks.
That's the death of
And
someone
three.
who is absolutely
Buybacks on
100%
all three
done with this
cores.
game.
The cooldown comes out, but he's only hitting onto the Wraith King, who has a reincarnation. Lion sucking on the Bristleback. Swap Lion into everyone else. He has a level 1 Dagon that he hasn't used in this fight yet, but Bristleback facing all kinds of the wrong way. That was a super clutch grave by the Dazzle there. He managed to take out the Lion, but now Sniper charges the hill right in the middle of the fight. Will he actually be able to take out the Sniper? They do 2,000 gold for the Razor. Sweet Jesus. And now everyone diving into the tier 4 towers. Ogre probably going to go down to the towers as well. Tidehunter, no mana for a mech. My god, the feed train is rolling. Wraith King, will they be able to chase him down here? Gyrocopter is TPing out in front of him. And I think they are actually going to catch him here. Where's the Rocket Barrage? Not being used just yet. Wraith King is going to turn around and just try to fight. Tide is thinking about coming back in. All he's got is a blink and an anchor smash. Now there's another TP coming forwards from the Venge. Wraith King doing a lot of damage, but they will take him down as well. Everyone apart from the Tide dies.
You give up a triple buyback, and let's have a look at the fight recap to see what's really gone on there. It's a nearly 5,000 gold swing side of it special, but really you have to say it's nowhere near enough as much as they need at this point. I mean, what they really need is they need probably an extra 4,000 gold on this gyrocopter to even think about really starting to contest these city cores, and probably they need Razor to be ahead of the Wraith King, or at least able to post up on him and start stealing his damage. And Bristleback just dies way too fast. Unfortunately, he was never able to get the farm advantage. Yeah, I mean, it's a glimmer of hope, but I don't think it will be enough at this stage.
Unfortunately, with the buyback penalty, you know, they could have taken that fight without having those buybacks, right? If they didn't get caught in the jungle, maybe City wouldn't have pushed as fast, but after the buybacks came out, the gold penalty on the Razor meant that he only got whatever it is, 1/3 of the 1,913 gold that you would have got from the Sniper.
It's 40%. You lose 60% of gold earned after you buy back.
Okay.
It used to be half, but they changed that. They nerfed it slightly harder.
Oh, have you changed your microphone settings? You've suddenly gone really loud. Oh, cooldown going into the pit. I'm not actually going to find anything in here. Oh no! Now that the cooldown's used, Tidehunter is going to counter-initiate here. Sniper with the attack speed from the top of the hill. Has an MKB now as well. How do you not die to this machine gun Sniper? And top of the hill, Vengeful Spirit, Ultra. For the Sniper. Absolutely and utterly peaked Queen Mary's.
I mean, it looks clowny when you go all into the pit like that. You just blindly throw your spells, but I mean, really, you kind of have to in that situation. You either get a jump initiation or you don't get any initiation at all. And so, unfortunately, we have to say goodbye to Xpecial. Thanks so much for competing. It's been an absolute pleasure having them here, and hopefully see them next time this competition rolls around.
Yep, so that's it from us. 2 relatively short games there. Follow the GameBritannia channel. You'll be able to watch some more whenever the next games are coming up. I think I'm going to be casting one on maybe Thursday night, which I think was the Bath versus someone game. Bath Lancaster, maybe. You can follow me on twitch.tv/maxisonfire. Do you want to plug anything of yours, Jay?
Well, if you want to follow me on Twitch, I'm twitch.tv/Logyck, that is Logyck, and otherwise, I wish you all the best. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks, as always, to Max for being just a fantastic co-caster. Always a pleasure. Okay. And hopefully we will be doing this again very soon.
Okay, thanks.